We are approaching the 25th anniversary of the Digimon franchise, starting with the very first digital monster virtual pet back in 1997. Bandai is celebrating appropriately by officially announcing its latest Digimon electronic, the Vital Bracelet BE. Now before I get into the details, there's a pretty good chance that if you're watching this video, you'll be interested in buying the items that we'll be talking about today. Bandai may be releasing them in Japan, but thanks to today's sponsor, tamers all over the world can get their hands on them too. Zen and TCG is your one-stop shop for Digimon merch, and they have recently revamped their online store to make it easier than ever to get what you want. Aside from Digimon, you can also find items from anime, including Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia, like this freaking sweet Hawks figure. They will of course have the Vital Bracelet BE and new DiM cards available for purchase, as well as the upcoming anime BE memory cards, so make sure to check them out at zenandtcg.com to get yours. The first 25 customers who use the code HUMULOS8 at checkout will even get 8% off their entire order. So to kick things off, there are a few important pieces of information. First of all, you may be wondering if the device I'm talking about here is the same device as the Vital Hero, and it is not the same device. The Vital Hero is a version of the Digivice V. According to Bandai, it's based on the Digivice V, and it's being released in the United States in English. It might be released in other territories later on, but right now we know that it's being released in the United States. That device, again, is based on the Digivice V, and is not based on the Vital Bracelet BE, which contains other improvements that do not exist in the Digivice V. So if you are looking to buy the latest and greatest version of the Vital Bracelet, the Vital Bracelet BE is going to be the one, and I'll get more into that as this goes on. The Vital Hero is much more for people who aren't like super into this community. It's more of the casual fans, casual people who wouldn't know about this other kind of product. And, you know, it takes a while to localize things. That's why we're getting the old version over here, not this latest and greatest version. That's just how it goes. We waited like 2 to 3 years for the Digital Monster version 20th to release in the United States, and it eventually did come out, which is great. But yeah, it takes a while to localize these things. Bandai America, generally speaking, is a few years behind when it comes to that. So yeah, not the Vital Hero. Keep that in mind. Now, price, pre-order, release date, I know that's going to be the first thing on top of everyone's mind, but we don't know those things yet as of me recording this, unless I swapped out this segment because we did find out. But if you're hearing this right now, that means that they didn't update us within an hour of me releasing this video, and yeah, I'll release either another video or at least a community post to give those details later on, and as always, those things will be posted immediately when they happen in the Discord server, link in the description. So those are the main things to keep in mind. Not the Vital Hero. We don't know how much it costs. You don't know when we can pre-order it, and we don't know when it's going to release. That information is still up in the air, and I will again update you later. Now let's talk about the actual details of the Vital Bracelet BE. First thing to note is that it comes in more colors than the previous versions of the Vital Bracelet did. We originally got white, black, and lime green as options for the Vital Bracelet, and dark blue as the Digivice V, so you didn't really have a lot of choices when it came to what color you were sporting, but that has changed. There are several different color variations of the Vital Bracelet BE, and how they're going to all be distributed is very unclear, but we see things like light blue, translucent, a yellow translucent one. We see some opaque ones like red, and a dark blue or maybe purple. It's hard to tell in that picture, but the main ones are the translucent black and white ones. Those are the primary devices that keep getting shown off in all the promotional material. So yeah, lots of colors to choose from, but don't know how to get all of them. At the very least, it seems like the black and white ones will be the type you can just buy anywhere. They seem to be the very neutral ones. The other ones might be tied with a specific franchise, which I'll get into the idea of different franchises here in a minute. I'm not totally certain on how those will be sold or how available each will be. Or, you know, I don't even know if these are being sold or if they're just like, hey, look, there's colors. I don't know. We don't know yet. That you'll be hearing that phrase a lot during this because there's a lot that Bandai still has not shared, despite having this announcement come out. So we'll get into that, though. So colors, hopefully there are a bunch to choose from. That would be nice. It would be a good change of pace. We will see. There are a couple of color variations that are specific for Digimon. Such as the Digivice VV, or V, I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's how it's labeled. And that one looks to be a tie-in for Ghost Game, as you could probably imagine. And it's just straight up red, and it's, yeah, it's got the little fancy logo on it. So there you go, that's one of the options. And that one supposedly comes with a Gamamon BE memory. I'll get into BE memories in a second. We'll get there, I promise you. So keep that in the back of your mind for right now. In addition to the Digivice V, there's also the 25th anniversary edition, it looks like. They have a little thing on the table that has a little card on it saying coming soon with the outline of a Vital Bracelet, and it's got the 25th anniversary logo that I guess they're going with on it, which is, I will say, that's a pretty cute logo. It's got the original V-Pet in it. It's got a little background represented inside the 25. I'm good with that. So it looks like we'll see a release specific to the 25th anniversary, and I would assume that it might be like colored similar to the original Digital Monsters. You know, the original brick and gray. I would say the brick is more likely than the gray. We'll see. I don't know. They didn't have any details on what that will entail yet, but to note that these different versions we're talking about, those different color variations, it does look like these are all the same device, ultimately. These are all still the Vital Bracelet BE and not individual versions with different features. These should all just be the exact same device, just with different colors. So ultimately, it shouldn't matter which one you get. So can't be 100% certain about that, but it does seem like that's the case so far. So the design of the device itself, if we take a look at it, it's I'd say it's definitely very much improved from the original. I think first of all, the translucent version, like the white that they keep showing off, is pretty slick. I rather like that. It reminds me a lot of the original V2 colors. They called it skeleton originally in Japan, I guess, or at least that's how it's translated on the original website, which I like that. I think it's a cool variation. We see the buttons are now like much bigger and squarer than the other buttons on the old Vital bracelets. The charging port also has a nice big chunky piece, keeping it safe, and I can't tell if the inside of that is micro USB or USB-C. Hard to tell. It honestly kind of looks like micro USB, but it's way too unclear to be able to tell if they've upgraded that or not. Kind of hope they do, so it's more compatible with most of the chargers people have around the house, but they may not have. Yeah, we won't know for right now, but we'll see. The device itself is also, according to them, 10% thinner, and you can definitely see that from the picture. It's not as high up from the wrist as you would see it on the Vital bracelet. It's a much nicer little compact package there, which we can definitely appreciate. They've also changed the font for some reason. I don't know why they did that. I'm not huge on this font, but it also might just be because it's unfamiliar. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I care too much. I know some other people were saying stuff about that too, but ultimately I know it's not going to actually matter while playing with it. It's just going to be, yeah, it's just a font, whatever. That's fine. And I've just upset all the font enthusiasts that are watching this now. But yeah, so again, I think overall the design is definitely improved over the original Vital bracelet. I like the way it looks. Band size, we don't know for sure yet. I think that it's likely that it'll be a bit longer than the original Vital bracelet and Digivice V. I believe the Vital bracelet character model had a longer band for adult wrists, and once again, the advertising that they're using here very much focuses on adults, similar to a lot of the advertising of the Vital bracelet. That had a mixture. There were kids in there too, but a lot of the very early material focused on adults using this. So I don't know, it could just be just for the heck of it again, or maybe if they're focusing this on adults, they will have a bigger wrist size for the device, which I know some people will welcome. But for right now, I don't know. What I do know is that this does have IPX4 water resistance, which means it is resistant to splashes and nothing more. Apparently you throw a water jet at this and that's not rated for that. But that does mean if you're in the rain, you don't have to worry too much. If you're washing your hands, you don't need to worry. So you're pretty much good for most normal circumstances. You still can't go swimming with this, of course. It's not submersion proof, it's just water resistant, which still is very welcome considering the Vital bracelet originally was rated for nothing when it came to that. And for those unaware, IPX4, the 4 is the level of water resistance, while that X is a level of dust and solid material resistance. And the X doesn't mean that it's not resistant to those things, but it has not been rated for those things, which could very well mean that it's not resistant to those things. So don't take it to the beach, for example. You don't want to get sand in there or anything like that. And if you're not using it, put it away where it's not going to accumulate dust. There you go. So very welcome to see that. I know that was one thing that people clamored for a lot. It is great to see them support that. Speaking of support, this thing supports all of the DiM cards you already own, and if you are a Vital Bracelet Characters fan, this also supports all the VBM cards that you already own. So all the Digimon, the Ultraman, the Kamen Rider, it's all going to go on there, no problem. One device for everything, and I do mean everything because there are new franchises being added to the mix as well. In addition to Digimon, which got a heavy focus on this, we're also seeing Demon Slayer, we're seeing My Hero Academia, and something called Tokyo Revengers, which I'm sure is very popular. I don't know, I've never heard of it, but there it is. So we're getting more anime franchises in there. Could see more than just those as well. I know One Piece recently got a Thomas Smart and Tamagotchi Nano collaboration. possible to see that come over to the Vital Bracelet as well. Who knows? Bandai's got a lot of properties that would be really cool to have on this in addition to Digimon, so we will see. But of course, I'm here mostly for the Digimon anyway, so I'm still going to get it just for that. But if you like any of those other franchises, great. This device will take all of them using their BE memories, and BE memories are basically just what they're calling DiM cards now. It's not just a name change though, there's definitely going to be some upgrades in here, and we already know about one of those upgrades is that originally the DiM cards had a limit of 17 characters per DiM card. These devices have been upgraded to where they can have 23 characters for each BE memory, which is fantastic. That means we can have bigger rosters than we had before, and yeah, have a lot more fun with these things. Like we can have a full pendulum-sized roster going on these with the 3 children, 6 adults, 6 perfects, and I'm not going to math all that up. I think the pendulums have 18 per, if that's how it works. So yeah, I can hold more than the original pendulums, which is fantastic. This is really cool to see them upgrade that and really improve the size of rosters. I look forward to seeing what they're going to do with that. So that's really cool. Also really cool is the fact that since, I already said all the DiM cards are supported, but here's the best thing I like from this is that DiM cards are no longer locked to specific devices. On the Vital Bracelet BE, you can just swap around with your friends all you want, plug them in, and they'll work. There's no need to worry about, oh, how many devices did I connect this to, or worrying about having to figure out how to unlock your DiM card if it gets locked to a specific device that you no longer have access to. It's just, they just work now, which is great. I've been complaining about that since day one. I believe in my very first video about the Vital Bracelet, when we found out about the DiM card lock, I was immediately like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Anti-piracy like that is only going to hurt people in the long run. And I've seen it hurt people. There are many people who get their cards and they just can't use them because they're pre-locked, which is the most bizarre thing ever. It's a bummer. I'm glad we have tools in the community to help people with that. Not everyone has access to those tools though, so this makes it so that you just don't have to worry about that at all anymore. This is Bandai really listening to their fans. There's no other reason why they would take that away. At this point, because in their eyes it would have just been like, oh, we don't even need to think about that, just keep that in the software. They would have had to take that away because they've been listening to people and know that that is a feature that no one wants to have on this device. So fantastic. Thank you, Bandai, for doing that. Definitely a great change. Now, one thing that we weren't told is how this device connects to the app. We of course know that this will still connect to the app. It'll likely still connect to the Vital Bracelet Lab app that you already have, in addition to the Battle app. We'll go over more of that in a second. But we don't know if that connection is still via NFC or not. They haven't really said anywhere on here yet, at least nowhere that I saw. And I don't necessarily think that means that they won't be using NFC anymore. It probably will be. Or if that does mean that maybe they did upgrade to Bluetooth instead of NFC, which I would very much be happy about. I kind of feel like that may be less likely at this point because of another point that we'll get to. But either way, we don't know for sure whether it's NFC or Bluetooth, so assume NFC for now, but we'll find out for sure later. Now, one of the things leading me to believe it's probably NFC is the fact that they have an upgrade method for these devices now. Before, whatever firmware you got, that's what you got. That was all there is to it, but apparently these devices can be upgraded via micro SD card. Now, that's also why I think it may not have Bluetooth, because having to plug it in the micro SD card is a bit of an odd way to have to do an update instead of transferring the update via Bluetooth and having it do that. Maybe it's just too big, or maybe, like I say, maybe it just doesn't have Bluetooth and it's still sticking with NFC. Either way, very cool, because that was definitely not possible on the original models, at least officially. And this opens the door to any glitches that pop up being able to be patched for people without having to buy a whole new device. And I don't know what other types of things we could see. We could see new features be plopped in. I really don't know how they expect to use this feature, but it is a feature that does exist, which is pretty neat, honestly. I'm glad they went that route. Next thing is the stats have changed a little bit, it seems. So before we had AP, DP, and HP, which were all static values, and your Digimon would get bonuses based on the different conditions. So you'd get a DP bonus if you had an attribute advantage, you get an AP bonus if your mood was good, you get an HP bonus if you had a lot of vital values. So this time around, your Digimon stats play a much bigger picture because they are affected by how you train. In the picture here, we see 4 different types of training. We see what I'm assuming is punching, we see sprinting, we see sit-ups, and we see squats, or I guess that's crunches. Yeah, those are the 4 types of exercise we have on the Vital Bracelet, but we see each one granting a little point to something. So we see punching is giving AP +1, so that's the damage dealt. We see sprinting is giving BP +1. And while BP didn't exist before, I'm assuming that BP is probably the same thing as DP, but since DP, you know, means Digimon power, they probably gave it a more neutral name, such as battle power or something like that. And that would be your accuracy. Again, assuming that's the same as DP we're looking at. We see crunches are giving you more HP, and then we see squats is giving you more PP, which I have no idea what that means. There's been a few ideas flung around about what it could be, such as protection points or power points or something, but even then I don't know how those exactly would contribute. We'll definitely have to wait and see for sure on that. Anything I say right now is pure speculation on what that is. It is also possible that PP is what's replacing DP instead of BP, and saying these things repeatedly is very difficult. I'm going to stop talking about the stats now and move on. One point that they brought up on the Vital Bracelet BE website, we actually saw this several days before the announcement, is that apparently you will be able to find partners by walking around, and this is something that I'm very curious about because I'm not sure if it applies to Digimon as well. Because here's the thing, someone pointed out that during the teaser trailers, if you watch the Digimon version, you see a Digimon evolving. And if you watch the non-Digimon versions, you see just more characters coming up while someone's walking. And you don't see it happen on the bracelet, it's just kind of represented by a graphic. And maybe we're reading too far into that, but it's possible that encountering while walking is something that's for the non-Digimon versions because the other franchises don't evolve. Honestly, it was really weird to have it on the Ultraman and Kamen Rider ones because you had human twice as the baby forms, and it was very much shoehorning something into something that wasn't meant for it. And so they could, instead of evolving, have a different way to meet the anime characters as you're walking around. Hard to say right now, but that's what I'm leaning towards. I don't know if you'll be able to meet Digimon while walking too, or if evolving would replace that, but we will just have to, again, wait and see. I'm saying that way too much, right? There's so much we don't know about this, so, but I'm telling you everything I know, I promise. So in addition, they also talk about the 2 versus 2 real-time battles. And when I say talk about, I mean, that's it. That's what they said. There will be 2 versus 2 real-time battles via the new app that's being developed. We first learned about that app back at Digimon Con, that it would be for real-time battles. We didn't know that it would be 2v2 at the time, so that's cool. And a lot of people are now wondering, oh, well, will I be able to fight, you know, Deku from My Hero Academia against my Greymon? And maybe. I don't know. It's definitely a possibility. I can't imagine they'd have a separate app for each franchise, but they may have a different section for each franchise in the app. Don't know. No idea as of yet. We will definitely have to... Nope, not going to say it. Not going to say the same thing I keep saying. Moving on. So that's pretty much everything there is about the Vital Bracelet BE. And I'll put a quick disclaimer. I've been saying Vital Bracelet BE this whole time and not BE, because I don't think BE is supposed to be an acronym, because the taglines on this all just use the word be. So like it's be active, be partner, be only one. And as English as this definitely is, I think that Vital Bracelet BE is probably the correct way to refer to this instead of BE, but I don't know. I could be wrong about that. Anyway, so that's pretty much everything there is to know about that. Obviously a lot that we still would like to find out, and I'm sure Bandai will be telling us more in the coming months for sure. So let's move on to DiM cards. Last we spoke, I had talked about the Espimon and Ryudamon DIMs. They were DIMs that had leaked previously from Shopee, and lo and behold, they are 100% real. We saw a picture of what Espimon looked like before, now we have some official color art for it, which is rather nice. A weird little jet hamster of some variety. Cool, I have no problems with that. And yeah, so those DIMs are going to be coming out in August, so pretty quick here. I'd imagine that they're probably, oh no, Owlmon is evolving, I'm leaving this in, I am not going to re-record this. Owlmon X just evolved to Triceramon X. So there you go. That's the Digimon report. You get those inside of Digimon news. You get report on what my Digimon are doing. Anyway, Espimon and Ryudamon. So they're coming out in August. I'm assuming that's probably before the Vital Bracelet BE, because again, they didn't give us release date right away, which could mean that it's going to be a ways off. How far off, I don't know. I wouldn't imagine more than 6 months personally, but as for these DIMs, yeah, they're coming out pretty quick. And as we talked about, they have the Ghost Game branding on them because they're part of the V series. So this means that these are likely characters we're going to see in Ghost Game. And I mentioned before, don't forget, Espimon's DIM was originally called Villainmon. So I'm just saying, Espimon might not be as cute as he looks. He might have a dark side to him. We'll have to find out. Actually, he doesn't even Yeah, he definitely has a dark side. Look at that face. He's definitely evil. That guy's definitely evil. I'm saying it right here. He's evil. So these DIMs feature a lot of Digimon from the show, and that leads me to believe that the ones that are on here that haven't appeared in the show might appear in the show at some point, and that's super interesting because while Espimon and Ryudamon are the cover boys of the DIMs, as one might say, the DIMs themselves also feature two other Digimon of prominence, being Zubamon and Ludamon, aka the two main members of Legend Arms that combine to form Ragnalordmon. So I don't know if we're going to see some kind of Legend Arms subplot in Ghost Game. That would be pretty neat if we do, but that's, again, pure speculation right now. But these being Ghost Game themed DIMs do mean that we may very well see them pop up at some point. Now, we haven't necessarily seen every Digimon on the other Ghost Game DIMs pop up, so I don't know. Maybe they're just there for fun. But some of these have appeared, and we'll go over those. So let's talk about every Digimon that appears on here. So we first have Ludamon and its entire line as introduced. So that's Kotsukomon, Kakinmon, Ludomon, Tia Ludomon, Raiji Ludamon, and Briweludramon. These were originally introduced on the Digimon Pendulum version 20th, a year after the 20th anniversary of Digimon, which was Zubamon's introduction. So Ludamon itself, not technically an anniversary Digimon, but it kind of hangs out with an anniversary Digimon, so it gets almost an honorary status there. Very good design. I like this very much because unlike the previous anniversary mons, or yeah, I guess the other ones, Zubamon and Hackmon, who had just like really generic, boring lines, this one goes all over the place, and I love it. So yeah, that's pretty dang cool. We also see Espimon right there. There it is. Bye. We see Espimon's assumed evolution called Hover Espimon, and I think it's safe to say that Espimon probably evolves into Hover Espimon. I don't think I'm making any wild claims with that. It's got a hovercraft for a body. I don't know what else to tell you about it. I haven't seen full art of it yet. All we have is a sprite. So there we go. We see Repamon, which appeared in the episode featuring Angoramon. We see Tailmon, Blacktailmon Uver, which of course has been delivering portals and digivices and random crap all over the world. I'm glad we were able to raise it. Blacktailmon Uver is it's just fun. I just like it. It's a cute little thing. You could tell that they had fun making that thing. We then see Digitamamon making a return from the, what was that? Was that the, yeah, that was the Ancient Warriors DIM. Once again, showing up in a weird spot, but he has been in Ghost Game already, so I guess that makes sense for him to be here. Same with Piccolomon, also has appeared in the show. Both of them, cool. Raremon, who originally appeared in Digimon Adventure : is here, as without Raremon itself. Raremon has already appeared on a DIM, but here we have Raremon showing up, and that may imply that he shows up in the show. Don't know. The rest of these have not showed up in the show yet, so they could just be random inclusions. We'll find out. Manticoremon's on here, reappearing from the Virus Busters Z Digimon Pendulum. We have Briweludramon. Well, I already said Briweludramon. I don't need to say him again. We have Deathmon, but black this time. I don't know what else to say about him. Devitamamon, very great Digimon. I haven't seen it appear in like anything in a long time. A very classic evolution for Digitamamon. Originally had a weird dog face and a crown. If you've ever seen the original submitted art, it's one of those Digimon that came out of an art contest, like so many of them did. But very fun to see it. And then Ragnalordmon, which we can expect to see as a jogress between Briweludramon and Durandamon. And yeah, so there we go. That is Espimon's DIM. Lots of good stuff. Let's move on to Ryudamon's DIM. So this, of course, has Zubamon and its whole line, starting with Sakumon, Sakutamon, then Zubamon, Zubaigermon, Duramon, and Durandamon. All of them there. All of them so boring to look at. I do not care for that line whatsoever. Again, he may be the 20th, but he's got some work to do before he wins over my favorite. Like, look, they're just all like the same thing. Yeah, whatever. I'm moving on before I say more stuff. We also see Ryudamon and its normal line coming back from the Pendulum X2, which means we have Ginryumon, Aoryumon. What? I went in backwards order. That should be Ginryumon, then Hiseiryumon, and then Aoryumon in that order. Aoryumon, of course, being a giant dragon that holds big swords and can become a big sword himself, which makes him fit right in with the Legend Arm folks, though not exactly the same, since he becomes a big sword via jogress, not just whenever he's attacking. So I guess that's the definition of what makes a Legend Arm, right? They could just turn into a weapon at will. I don't know. Someone will correct me on that, I'm sure. Then we have Musyamon, finally appearing on a portable digital pet, which, yeah, really, his first time. He appeared originally back in the version Wonderswan, and obviously that was basically a virtual pet. He appeared there alongside Asuramon, who's in the next column there. But it never actually appeared on any other virtual pets, which is a bummer, because I really like Musimon. He's pretty dang cool. We have Dokugamon making a return from the Gabumon DiM, which we have seen Dokugamon in the show already. We have, I already said, Asuramon there along with Musimon. And then we have two new Digimon here. We have, well, I already forgot their names. It's Ginkyumon and Oboromon, I believe. Let me fact check that real quick. I don't remember what I said, but Gyukimon and Oboromon are those two. So one guy apparently has an entire Dokugamon as its lower half. The other guy is all wispy. So, yeah, they're cool looking. I'd like to see their official art. I have nothing else to say about them right now. Finally, we already mentioned Durandamon and Aryumon, so the last of the non-big ultimates, which is, you know, Ragnarlordmon over there. We have Zanbamon. Zanbamon is a dead guy who rides around on a dead horse, and there's samurai. Is he dead? I actually don't know if he's dead. His horse is definitely dead. That's like a red skeleton horse. That means when you break it, it reforms right after. That's the difference between red skeletons and non-red skeletons. Thank you, Castlevania. And yeah, Zanbamon's pretty cool. It's very often associated with Musimon and Asuramon, so it makes sense to see it here. And yeah, there we go. So those are the two new DIMs. Very good lineups, I would say, overall. Very excited for them. It's going to be really neat if these do end up being major players in the show, specifically Espimon and Ryudamon. I'd like to see how they're featured. So I guess we just have to keep watching the show to know what's going to go on with that. So there you go. V3 DIMs taken care of. The last little bit of information here is one more B memory. So not technically a DIM card, but a B memory. We know that Gamamon is going to be getting its own B memory card. Now you may be saying, wait, Gamamon already has a DIM card. Why does it need a B memory too? And that's it. That's my sentiment. I would have preferred to see something else get a B memory first, but yeah, so Gamamon's getting a B memory. A lot of people are thinking, oh, well, maybe it'll include his final form in there, and could be. I was secretly hoping that they would stop it perfect for them and just kind of buck some conventions, but no, we're getting another like tailor-made ultimate for these guys. Probably, we'll see. Again, B memories can have more Digimon on them, so that means that Gamamon, while its original DIM was kind of light at just 14 Digimon, I believe it was, this one can go up to 23. Hopefully they actually make use of that. And yeah, should be cool. It's supposed to, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be sold alongside the Digivice V, and you can probably buy it otherwise as well. I think that's was talked about, but yeah, so keep an eye out for that. Other B memories for Digimon have not even been mentioned yet, but I have to wonder if on the 25th anniversary edition of the Vital Bracelet BE, if we won't see some kind of anniversary themed DIM, you know, one that might have all the Digimon from the V1 on it, and then some, maybe some bonuses on there, maybe some Blitzgreymon, for example, which a lot of them have already been used, so I guess that's not that thrilling, but it could be more thrilling if they end up using the pixel art instead. The Thomas Smart did that. They had a classic SMA card that had just the old school designs, just regular old pixel art from the very first Tamagotchis, so maybe we can expect to see something similar here. Yeah, that would be really cool if they do, or they could just go a completely different route and buck all of my assumptions. It could be entirely around the 25th anniversary Digimon, which we don't know what it is yet, or if they're going to do one. It's probably not Espimon. Espimon is probably not the 25th anniversary Digimon. That would be a really weird one to do, if that was the case. So that's pretty much everything to go over today. I know that was a lot. There was definitely a good amount of news coming out, and it's going to be continuing to come out. So if you want to stay up to date, definitely join the Discord server. It was moving a mile a minute. I'll tell you what, when this news was breaking, hard to keep track of. But that's why we have the news channel there, and the news channel is constantly updated with any relevant new information that you need to know. And I will, of course, be making more videos as more information comes out. So until next time, bye!